Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here, and I gotta be honest, I didn't want to weigh in on this whole Kanye West fiasco. We got a whole lot more going on in the world than what pop stars think about anything, really. But that the power of celebrity is so great, it's hard to ignore. I want to say that. And I believe we already got a tip here from Hugely Fantastic. He says, "Hi, JB. Hope my post earlier was not lost, as I may be one person calling for a conversation with Alex." I have no idea who the Duran is, man. This is a huge, long one. I appreciate it. Has nothing to do with the video right now. We do appreciate the support. Back to Kanye. However, now that Vice has these leaked parts of the video, there's a couple points I want to make. All right, before we get into human experimentation, how it really happens, how it's mobilized via the predator class through government programs, through universities, and through pharmaceutical companies. Okay, I just want to point that out. We're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about horrific things done to children in Staten Island. Human experimentation that, once again, is not emphasized in the media, and we're supposed to act like never, ever happened, and we have to trust the science, okay? But getting back to these Kanye tapes, the medium of a live interview is so important. Why? Because you can't fake context, okay? The context is right there. Context might be lost, but you can't manipulate it in a manner to fit your agenda or your perspective. So, watch the disturbing Kanye West interview clips that Tucker Carlson didn't put on air. Now, I don't know if they're disturbing, but they are enlightening in the fact that it shows you different narratives that are withheld from the public, right? For instance, in these interviews, Kanye says he took the old Shotsky and Hutch, the old boop boop. Now, I want you to think about that for a minute. I'm going to say this about Kanye West. I'm going to put this in the front before we get into anything else, and I show you these experimentations and all those other things. He's extremely talented, obviously, okay? Obviously. And he's a very intelligent person, obviously. However, he obviously struggles with mental health, and he has put himself in situations in which that is vastly apparent, not only because of his fame, but because of the people he has decided to associate with socially and then marry. I mean, the Kardashian thing alone is loaded, right? So that tells me, and should tell anybody, that there is going to be a mental health struggle throughout the rest of this guy's life. He also sees himself as a genius, and he's very vocal about that. And, in the interview, he talked about narcissism. Here's the thing. I think that there's a time to remain humble, and at the same time, there is definitely times to be very, very sure of yourself, very, very conscious in the fact that you can achieve, and sometimes vocal about that. He is right in the sense that people that say that this type of behavior is often put out there as cocky or arrogance, but you have to personify a certain type of confidence even to get to that level, right? But at the same time, you always have to worry about the fact that you think you might be better than everybody else and a verifiable genius, okay? I want people to understand that. For instance, I don't think I'm a genius at all. Not at all. In fact, there are so many things that I am plainly ignorant of, and I want to sit down and have a conversation with others about that kind of drives me, right? To unlock the secrets of the universe and get different perspectives. And in this video in particular, there's even a point where, and these are different clips, these are real. I've heard some people saying that they're not real. They're 100% real. It looks like somebody that worked at Fox News, maybe in the editing room, maybe not even necessarily on Tucker Carlson, got a hold of them and then took some phone or video shots of the editing and what they edited out. He actually says, hey, can you edit that out at one point? And there are comments about Jewish people in this as well. And anytime that you make a broad statement about any religious group, ethnic group, and then you intertwine other things. For instance, he refers to black people, the black Israel, as Jews as well. But anytime that he talks about that, obviously that's going to be taken out of context inside the mainstream media. And when he talks about powerful Jewish people inside the entertainment industry, again, it's such a broad brush. You are just begging for the mainstream media to come after you, cancel you, say that you are anti-Semitic, etc. So what we're going to do is we're going to play those clips on the uncensored part of the broadcast. We're also going to be playing this gentleman, okay, talking to some people about that V word that we don't talk about on YouTube, because this human experimentation and how we've been treated as a human species for such a long time is important. Before we get there, thumbs it up. Subscribe, share if you're new. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order, Define and Shade the Motion Picture are my films. I want you to watch them for free and share them. You can support me down below by buying me a coffee, subscribing to redvoicemedia.net/Jason, checking me out on Rumble and Rockfin, where the uncensored portion of this broadcast is going to move, and really just sharing the information. Okay. City of Philadelphia finally apologizes for inhumane 1970s experiments on black inmates. Johnson & Johnson paid convicts $300 to inject asbestos into them to determine if the deadly substance was safe to use in talc. Now, this same guy ended up, again, coming out with a wrinkle treatment and an acne treatment that's great. Great. Retin-A. Actually, you see Retin-A in a lot of different products. Now, if you take a look at this, though, it was also the University of Pennsylvania that allowed this. So, let's just take a couple of pictures of people that were injected with this stuff. And I've reported on this. They're just apologizing. This has been acknowledged for a very long time. Oh, we're sorry. And now you also have Johnson's baby powder causing cancer in some women due to asbestos exposure, right? Oh, wow. So thousands of lawsuits on that front. This is how much they care about you guys. So universities, big pharma companies, and the government obviously love you. You should always trust them and the science that they put out in the products. All right? You look at this. Granulomas, where a cluster of skin cells become inflamed, causing warts and lesions. Lovely. That's nothing compared to what we're going to be talking about in a moment, though. Okay? Because what I want people to understand is, these are things that you say, oh, Jason, they were just prisoners. They got paid $300. Good times McGrady. This is that sliding scale of humanity where we can't just say, well, they're bad people. We need to humanly experiment on them. Because then you take the most vulnerable and you make it okay for them. The Willowbrook Experiments, okay? Hepatitis studies at Willowbrook State School for Children from 56 to 1971. All right? I mean, I'm just going to say they injected physically, mentally retarded children that were basically in torturous conditions. One of these pictures just so over the top. See, oh, we've got Mickey Mouse on the wall. It's okay. Terminally ill children injected with things like hepatitis. That's how we treat other people. Oh, it's Halloween time. It's the Wizard of Oz. Again, this is how we treat people. These photos expose the horrors of Willowbrook State School more than 50 years ago. This is just out in September. Again, this is something I reported on over a decade ago. So if they'll experiment on children, I assure you, they will do whatever. And in this world, I mean, this is still the world we're living in. This is October 11th when I saw this stuff. And then we're going to move over to the uncensored part of the broadcast, guys. Again, the links are down below, but it's over at Rumble free. And if you're already a Rockfin subscriber, please watch it over on Rockfin. It benefits the broadcast. It's $9.99 a month. $99.99 for the year, but again, totally 100% free over at Rumble when we move over there in a moment. But I want you to see this. This is still happening. Fencing, the perfect you-know-what sport. Masks, gloves. If anybody gets closer than 6 feet to you, then stab them. They think this is hilarious. And by the way, the lady actually, I don't want to say what the video we're going to watch other than the Kanye West stuff, which we're also going to watch is. But the lady in this video here that we're gonna go to, let me just pop over here. She laughs when she's asked this question. Laughs. I'm speeding through it because it's a cackle to her. Look at her smile. It's funny to these people. It's hilarious to these people. Got another tip over at the Rockfin. Jacob Gressmere, the book Plutonium Files, proved they gave pregnant women radioactive isotopes they were told were vitamins for their babies. Democracy Now! Interviewed the Pulitzer Prize-winning author. The book Medical Apartheid says they still have the books bound in human skin. Ugh, I don't know about that part of it, but ugh. Does that surprise anybody? Does it? So again, these messages are all still here in you know what should be the post nightmare, but we have officials saying it's not over, even though because Biden was looking at cars. Not even 100 thumbs up over at YouTube. Let's get them up. Please do not howl. Human howling causes stress to wolves. They're hilarious. This is the one that really bothers me. No mask on your face, big disgrace, spreading your germs all over the place. How dare you? How dare you do that to Freddie Mercury? My goodness. I mean, just again, these people. It's fun. It's funny. It's funny to them. It's not funny to me. All right. So, I want to play the Kanye stuff. I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube. I want to play the Roos stuff before we get to the Kanye stuff. So here's the deal, guys. If you're over on YouTube, thumbs it up, subscribe, share. Come over to Rumble. Subscribe over there. 14,000 plus strong. Almost 70,000 strong on both YouTube and close to 67,000 strong. I think we're just a couple away over on Rockfin, where if you are a paid subscriber, that's where you can support the broadcast from here. In fact, did we make 70,000 right now? We were 21 away. Let's see. We are 18 people away from just the follow. And by the way, we eventually give everything away for free over on Rockfin as well. So YouTube, it's going to be a little too spicy for you. We're going to have this government official expose Pfizer over on Rumble, over on Rockfin. Arrivederci.